One of my absolute favorite things about my job is traveling to wine regions and discovering new producers. And this right here was, I think, maybe my find of 2023. I was here about a year ago in September, and this was a recommendation from me from a friend that I soon discovered was a fan favorite of a ton of people who follow me on Instagram. And I was super excited to find that out because I kind of went in with no preconceived notions, really not knowing a lot about who they are and what they do. But I came out a lifetime fan. And so, flash forward to a year later, when we were looking for wines for the Unfiltered Podcast Wine Club, I was like, I think it might be the time to include a wine from our winery right here, Presqu'ile. So this is coming from, Presqu'ile is located in the Santa Maria Valley, but this is their Santa Barbara appellated Chardonnay. And what I love is that this is coming from a few different places across the region. So it's really showcasing a broader style of what the region has to offer, which, by the way, is one of my favorite places, if not my favorite places, for Chardonnay and Pinot Noir in the New World. We are talking about the 2022 Presqu'ile Chardonnay from Santa Barbara right now. You can already see the color is really kind of this beautiful light pale straw fading to golden hue. I love this wine, and I think for people who love Chardonnay, they're going to love this, but also for people who don't typically love Chardonnay, I think you're going to find that this wine really suits you in ways that you didn't expect. Things about Santa Barbara Chardonnay that I love, they tend to be really nice and bright, but they also have a ton of texture. One term that I've heard a number of times is this idea of refrigerated sunlight. So it's a place that if you've ever been to, there is so much wind in these parts. I mean, your hair is never staying still for more than 1 second. And the grapes really experience that as well, but it's also really nice and sunny. You're in this beautiful part of California that it gets gorgeous, gorgeous sunlight. There's tons of rolling hills everywhere, but you're very close to the Pacific Ocean, which is moderating not only the climate, but also allowing this wind to kind of travel through all of the different places within Santa Barbara. As we smell this wine, I mean, aren't you getting like this gorgeous sea spray? I'm getting these like golden apples, these Bartlett pears. There's a little bit of this like honeycomb vanilla thing going on. And this is a wine that I just think really, really punches above its weight class. I mean, to have this much nuance and this much surprise and delight factor just on the aromatics is absolutely, it's insane at a price point like this. Let's travel into the palate. Guys, I'm telling you, the way that I feel about this wine right now is the way that I felt about it last year when I tasted it for the first time. I just don't understand how they can capture this place in a glass like this. I mean, it's lifted and it's aromatic, but it's got texture and it's got depth and it's got weight. It's just so beautiful that, it reminds me of like just biting into a crisp apple in fall. I mean, you know that like the first time that you harvest those apples in fall, where they're super juicy, but they're bitey and they're crunchy and they give you all of these things that you're like, oh, I feel like I'm going to put a sweater on, but I'm also really warm at the same time. But I also like feel very nervous. It's all of those things in a glass right now. And I'm just absolutely loving it. The other thing about Presqu'ile that I love so much, and this was really something that made me fall in love with them, is their commitment. And I mean this sincerely, their commitment to making wines that are pairable with food. These guys love food, probably in the way that I love food, maybe even more so. They have this gorgeous garden on their property, and that was really something that their chef insisted on. She was a French chef, and she said, if I'm going to cook food here, then we have to have gardens and places where I can get all of the ingredients from. So when you go to Presqu'ile, I think one of the things that you'll fall in love with is, of course, the wines. But the other thing is they do this absolutely insane mezze board. And I'm telling you, everyone that I've sent there has come back and said, I love the wines. They were amazing. I want to drink them all the time. But what is up with that mezze? I'm telling you, They value food so much that the wines that they make are really designed to pair well with food. And I appreciate that so much because I do believe that wine should be paired with food. And great wines really amplify food and play with food and make it better. And that is exactly what is happening in this glass right here. Now, I mentioned that for Chardonnay lovers, you will find all the things that you want in Chardonnay. It's rich, but it's not super, super rich. It's got all those appley things, but it's not the only thing going on. But for those of you who typically don't love Chardonnay, especially California Chardonnay, I think what you'll find is this has, one of those sensibilities of something more old world. It's really lifted. There isn't really any sense of new French oak on here. There's a creaminess to it, but not a weightiness to it that feels very cloying. And I think what you'll find is that this is a wine that's clean and it's crisp as much as it is weighty. It's sort of a weird juxtaposition. It's an interesting play to enjoy in a glass, but I think that you're really, really going to love it. I hope that you do. It's a wine that I'm super, super excited to finally be bringing to Wine Access and to the Unfiltered Podcast Wine Club. Cheers.